atmospheres. I was just saying to Adam Smith, we experience the same kind of atmospheres a lot now in British boxing. The incredible Leeds crowd with Josh Warrington, for a while, Lewis Ritson up in Newcastle, and see Nathan Heaney in Stoke, and that was something fresh tonight, fresh, different, exciting, vibrant, a real shot in the arm for British boxing, an incredible performance from Johnny Fisher. So over to you guys and girls for questions to the champ, still a champ, and Mark Tibbs here as well for anything you need to know.
It's a basic kid, the hardcore casual.
You all right?
Great performance, all good. Question for you though. After such a hard training camp, which you said that you had, and put yourself through it for this, do you almost feel a bit cheated that it didn't go a bit longer for you to show more of what you've been learning?
I never feel cheated because I'm grateful for the victory, and what I've learned in that training camp can often give you just as much as in a fight, but that experience of doing the ring walk, first time as a main event, that's all experience in the bank as well. Obviously you want it to go a few rounds. In my head I thought I was going to have 10 really hard rounds of grueling work, but it's testament to the work we put in, and I'm grateful for every single person that turned out.
Johnny here for Title Sports Network. Johnny, after one of the quickest knockouts I think a lot of us here tonight have seen, how far can you go?
As far as I'm meant to go, as far as my capabilities allow. Listen, I think I was speaking to Eddie about this. I saw Anthony Joshua, how he trained. He fought in Ganu, and then a week later I saw him doing pull-ups. He was doing swimming. He was swimming in the pool, and that's where I had a little click in my head. I thought, if I want to be a professional athlete, I've always trained hard. I've always done it right, but everything's got to be tightened up now as you move up the levels. The food's got to be better. The sleep's got to be better. Everything I do has got to be stepped up, and that's the bare minimum as a professional athlete. And I think that's what that corner's being turned, and that's not just nutrition and sleep. That's about the tactics and being relaxed in the mind as well. And I think I've really turned a corner in the last 6 months of that.
Johnny, Tom Colley for Frigga Roads Boxing. We've heard Eddie talk about tonight. We've seen that great fight for the British title between Fabio Orley and Fraser Clark. Eddie's talked about you stepping up to that domestic level. Question for yourself, Mark and Eddie. How soon will it be before we see Johnny in those kind of fights?
Listen, I think anyone on the planet, as I said in the ring, I've got to give them something to think about. And if it's right, I'll fight absolutely anyone. And we've built nicely. We've done things. We've gone to Vegas. We've been away the Southern Area title. We've done things in incremental steps, and we're not far away from that level now. And Fabio, Fraser, David Adelaide, Sol Dakers, all of them. They're great fighters, and they're people that when I was 3-4 years ago, I wasn't even boxing. They were boxing for GB. Fabio's the exception to that, and that's someone who can inspire me as well. And it'd be an honour to share the ring with any of them guys, and I think I'll give anyone a hard night's work.
Oscar Bick here for ESBR Boxing. Johnny, congrats on your win. Eddie mentioned a few different places, Australia, Riyadh, but where would you like to fight next?
This was amazing to fight here in Stratford, in the Copper Box, in the heart of where the Romford Army is, but Australia is a great place, and we went out there for a little bit after my fight in Vegas, and honestly, the fan base out there is unbelievable. Big John done 5,000 tickets for a DJ set. So imagine if we have a fight over there, we could do it in Newcastle or Sydney. They're really close. They're two hotspots for us. And if we get a fight over there on an undercard of a Liam Paro, you said, that would be unbelievable. I could do 5,000 or 6,000 tickets over there easy. And what a great place Australia is. And that's what boxing's about for me as well. It's about making memories with my family, my friends, saying when I retire, I've done this. It's not always about money for me. Of course, we all need to make money, but it's about looking back in 20, 30 years' time and saying, I went and boxed there. I went and done this. And Australia would be one of them ones you want to tick off.
I'll remember that in the next contract negotiation.
Yeah, I said that. I didn't say it's not. I said it's still important, but you've got to make sure you do it.
Reading Slaymaker for International Boxing News. Johnny, a few years ago you were in the co-main event to Jake Ryder against Gabriel Nguema. I think that was one of your second biggest night compared to this. How did you compare your improvements from that night to now?
That night was a really good learning night for me. I remember I cracked my hand and broke it. I splintered the metacarpal in the build-up to that and on the pads. But I look back on that fight, I remember on the Saturday night on that fight, we was all not disappointed, but a bit of a lull because we hadn't got the knockout. We'd done 4 or 5 fights and we knocked them all out. But I look back on that fight and Jimmy, Mark's dad, was saying, I don't know what we were moaning about. It's a great bit of experience for Johnny, that sort of fighting. I look back on that with fond memories now because I turned a corner then, and we turned a few corners since then as well. But I feel like a different fighter at that point.
Can I interrupt?
Of course you can.
See that fight against Nguema, wasn't it?
Nguema.
See, Nguema was a tall guy who had a very, very good right hand. Yeah, I've said this to many people in my gym. So myself and Johnny had to work on evading that right hand because in the early days, Johnny was susceptible to one, you know what I mean? So, and Nguema never got the right hand off. He got cut in the first round. Never moaned or groaned or wilted. Dad fixed his cut, got on with that. Now, I knew that was the best thing that happened to him because it's a good bit of experience. But you guys was all down about that. It was experience, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that was, I think he brought it up a couple of days ago, brought that fight up, and he now knows what I was talking about. You know, give him another couple of years, you know that was a blessing. And tonight, you know, dangerous man, Babic, and dealt with him, took him out there and around.
And I think the power in my jab and everything's got better because I'm more relaxed when I'm fighting. I'm not loading it up like it's a piston. I'm just flicking it out there, and that elasticity makes a difference. And you have to have a calm mind to be able to do that. And having 11 and 12 fights now, it's so different to when I first walked out in front of that O2 crowd. I'm not as stiff. I'm not as jittery. I'm feeling looser and better each time.
Hi, Johnny.
Hello.
Many congratulations.
Thank you.
On an explosive performance. I'm Yusuf Anani, BBC News. So you've already been asked how far you can go. Do you dream of being heavyweight champion of the world?
Of course I do. I've dreamed about that since I was watching Rocky when I was a child. I remember at my 4th birthday I was doing shadow boxing in front of all my friends at my Gideon Park primary school. My mum was telling me to go jab, go on Johnny, do it. So I've had that experience, and we all dream of that as boxers, but it is only a dream, and you've got to look at the next step in front of you. I've always said this from the very beginning. The roadmap becomes clearer. You just got to keep winning fights. You keep winning fights, you get to an area title, and you keep winning fights, and then you get to a headline and main event, and then everything's just got to be seen one step at a time, and then the picture becomes clearer for you. Thank you.
Mark, obviously Johnny's improvements have been really fast in his short career. I mean, how impressed with Johnny have you been in this only short space that you've had with him?
Well, do you know what? This is this morning we come back from breakfast, and myself and Sonny was walking into the lift after breakfast, and I went, do you know what, Sonny? This is the first time I'm not nervous about Johnny fighting. You know. Then I asked myself why, and do you know why? Because look, we got a good guy down for sparring to practice a certain tactic for Babic for the long haul for the 10 rounds. Because we thought we'd be tough, you know what I mean? And we know he's tough. So we got him in, and you know, we had 2 weeks to go before the fight, and Johnny then brought in Derek for a last spar, and I was thinking, oh no, Derek's a last bit of work, you know what I mean? And but he went and done what he did with our sparring partner. With all due respect, he gave a good account of himself with Derek. Beautiful account of himself. So. You know, Johnny's coming. What was your question? Sorry.
Are you impressed with the improvements Johnny's made?
Yes, very impressed with the improvements. And he's you know, once he gets his head around it, like Babic tonight was a bit of substance. The fight meant something, you know. And so therefore, you know, he brought the best out of him. And I'll be honest with you, a little bit more experience, yeah, he would have held Babic up for a little bit, give the fans a bit of thing and put them away in emphatic fashion, although it was emphatic fashion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But when I just see someone's hurt, I can't help it.
Yeah.
It's instinctive.
But that's also what makes you so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's a prize fight.
Yeah.
And in that division, anything can happen.
Eddie,
So
you know what I like? Sorry about in there, mate. But you know what I liked? The 4, 5, 6 shot combination with distance.
Yeah.
At the end.
And I think it all came off of the fact what we've been practicing, a smooth, relaxed jab. When the jab's too tense, or it's too, that's what sets them shots up and allows you to find the range to throw them big 3-4
I've been ramming it into him. The jab, there's a ramrod jab, there's a blinding jab, and there's a setting up jab. There's an up jab, screw jab. He loves the jab now.
Love it.
Eddie likes to get stuck in, which is good. No, it's good, but it's set the shots up.
Jonathan Agger, Pro Boxing Fans. Question for both Eddie and Johnny. Some people online mentioning possible Dave Allen fight. Is that a fight you'd be interested in making, and is that a fight you'd want, Johnny?
I love Dave Allen. I'd love to have the opportunity to fight him. He's the first professional I ever sparred. And I was only 18 or 19, I was at Exeter University. And I didn't really know what I was doing. But my coach at the time, Jamie Williams of Legends, you know Jamie, didn't you? He said, fancy a bit of sparring with Dave Allen. I just played rugby on the Wednesday and I think we sparred a couple of days after. And for 6 rounds, he proper laid into me. I didn't really know what to do, but I just kept coming forward. Darren Barker was there and he was impressed and he said, you're one tough boy. So that was a little thing I can take away from that. I grew up watching Dave Allen and being motivated by him. So it would be an honour to share the ring with him, but he's a wily old customer and he's a veteran and he's a good boxer and a big solid man. So that would be a difficult test, I have no doubt.
Yeah, for me, I mean, you know, the interesting part now of the strategy and the matchmaking is to make sure you get the tests and the rounds before you're back headlining again, because unfortunately you can't headline in a fight no one's interested in. That's why Babic was such a good opponent, because he was a tough man. Everybody knew who he was. He was brilliant in the build-up. And so what we need to do now, in between now and the next headline, is bank some rounds and some experience before we're in another test where we've got to fight someone a little bit tougher. So Dave Allen is someone that will give rounds and will give us, you know, something to think about. And you know, you've got him. Obviously, you've got David Adelaide fighting Sol Dakers. We could fight the loser of that, the winner of that. But you know, when I saw Fraser Clark against Fabio Ward, I know that Johnny's, you know, very respectful, and I like those boys. Well, I messaged him straight after. I said, I think you beat them both now. And he said, yeah, you know, a bit more experience. No, absolutely more experience, because we're not going to get it wrong. But I love those fights, and they won't come till 2025. But when they come, they'll fill up the O2, and when they come, he'll be ready. And now the smart part is the matchmaking between to get the experience. That's key, because we can't just knock everybody out in a round and then go into a 12-round war and be 11 rounds deep without the experience, because you've got to get it right.
Can I just say something else? Can I just say thank you to, I haven't said it yet because I normally say it on the broadcast, thank you to my mum and dad. My mum, who does all my washing, she comes around, looks after my dog, puts him out in the morning when I want to go to sleep.
Well done, Mum.
She does it all for me. Hetty's been helping as well. She started doing bits of my t-shirts. And yeah, my dad doing all the tickets. He loves it, but it's also stressful. And I don't think that man ever sleeps. So thank you to him, and thanks for my mum. She cleans my kitchen as well, and that's a big help because I don't know what's
Big John, we're not going back to digital tickets anymore.
No, he likes the old school. He got a pen and paper, and people come and meet. And
we're trying to.
I had one man today, 3 o'clock. I've opened tickets. I bought 6. I've only got 5 at 3 o'clock.
Really?
I said, come to the hotel. I'll give you a ticket free of charge. Oh no, I found it.
What, mate? Calm down.
I knew you hadn't got it wrong. But just for those who don't know.
I wouldn't say that, but normally if people get their tickets, they check them a bit more before 2 hours before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, we'll let them know, John. Thank you. But the one thing I will say, if you don't know the story, because of the way the world's moving, we're moving away from, which is, it does affect ticket sales, personal ticket sales to the effect of cash buy, 40 quid, thank you. 2 40s, please, 80 quid, thank you. Now it's more like fighters actually walking around with touch pads to buy your tickets. And it takes a little bit of that personal touch away from it. And you know, we've seen that fighter ticket sales do go down with that format. And Big John said, look, we need the physical tickets.
I'll be truthful with you. I could have sold
finished yet.
200-300 today.
Don't care.
Before I've had them, but you can't take that choice because you don't sell them, then obviously Johnny's got paid.
Oh, now you tell us.
Well,
we only had about 200 left.
I did send people to the league. So
thanks, mate.
I did my job. But thank you very much. I just want to say massive thank you to Johnny's team. Worked so hard this camp. I've been lucky to be a part of it out in Texas. Mark, Sonny, Adam, all of them. Got a new nutritionist on. Everyone's really pulled together.
Thank you to Adam and Harry and S-Jam as well. They've been brilliant, non-stop for me.
I just hope the nutritionist can help me a little bit, all right?
A bit too much for you, I think.
That's might be a bridge too far, as we say. Thank you very much.
He's a nutritionist, not David Blaine. All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Well done, Johnny.
Thanks
family,
everyone.